Hey folks, Grant here from the Code of Traditional Archery, and I'm going to go over just a little snapshot, a very small snapshot of a series we're in the middle of shooting right now, and it's addressing the issue of what people call target panic. And you know what, I've been helping folks out get into shooting a stick bow for a long time now, and I really am an open slate when it comes to people's issues and problems they end up coming to me with from time to time. And one of the issues we hear about all the time is the dreaded target panic. And I think this sometimes, in my opinion, has been a little bit made into a bigger problem than it actually needs to be. I find in most cases, it's one of four things. And I'm going to address the first thing today in what I see as people developing target panic or target acquisition issues. And all I'm going to do is do a letdown drill. This is my first way of mitigating what people call target panic. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot where on that Reinhardt, I'm going to shoot where I believe the heart is, and I'm going to do a letdown drill doing it. Then I'll explain a little bit about what the letdown drill is. And there's different iterations of the letdown drill. This one I'm going to do a half draw letdown drill. I'm going to focus again, keep focusing on where I want that arrow to go. I'm going to come to full draw again. I'm going to let down. I'm going to do this 3 times before I actually shoot. Just stay with me and watch what I do with this shot process, and I'll get into a little bit more. So I'm going to shoot from one of my favorite positions, which is sitting down. This is very similar, if you read between the lines, of how I solve a lot of these little problems for folks in regards to how I actually hunt personally. I do a lot of ground hunting, and I'm low on the ground quite a bit, whether I'm still hunting or stalking, I'm in a brush and blind, whatever, okay? So the first part of the drill I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the spot on the deer I want to hit. In this case, I'm going to look at the heart area. I'm going to stay fairly close. Right now, I'm maybe 12 feet away from that target, all right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and acquire my target by looking. So I'm going to look, I shoot a point and shoot instinctive method. I'm going to look at where I want to hit. I'm going to bring a bow up. I'm going to come to half draw, and I'm going to let down. Then I'm going to drop my bow arm. Then I'm going to come up this time to full draw and let down. Then I'm going to let down. This time I'm going to come up to half draw again and let down, come back up to full draw and shoot. Now, let me explain what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is I'm delaying the inevitable, okay? My brain, when I pull that string back, wants me to let that arrow go every time. What I'm trying to do is I'm training my brain in a very realistic hunting situation. I cannot tell you how many times hunting turkey, hunting whitetails, moose a couple of times, and spot and stalking a black bear, how many times that bear, especially, I was up and down at that bear maybe 5 or 6 times before I actually shot, okay? You're not going to have the perfect shot execution every time. And what do I mean by that? I mean actually doing it like you stand up, drawing your bow, having all the time in the world, nice sanitized environment, and let go, okay? You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna have the luxury of that. So apart from shooting from a common position you're gonna hunt from, the first thing I recommend people do is a letdown drill that are having issues with what they call target panic. This is the first step I take out of several steps with folks. This gives me a bit of a litmus test, a barometer, if you will, to see where they're at, in their head, see how they shoot. You know, most people, and I, don't understand that I'm trying to teach a repeatable way of shooting, irregardless of how you aim, whether you string walk, gap shoot, it doesn't matter how you shoot. It matters how you train to shoot, right? Especially if you want to bow hunt with a longbow or a recurve. It's really important to try to get into a repeatable method that works for you. So this is what I do. I love doing this drill because, and this is the first step, like I said, in it, because it allows me to look at someone's draw cycle without assessing their shot. Because I want to see what they're doing. Are they coming up the same place when they do that, come up to half draw and let down? I do quarter, half, full, let down to half, back up to full. I do all sorts of iterations of this. Now, one of the great benefits of this drill, second benefit is, not only does it allow me to see where their process is at, but it also allows me to get them warmed up without actually shooting. So they're going through the whole thing without releasing and letting that arrow go. Now, I've said it before, I have let the string go. I would say I've let down, that is not letting the string drop, on 4 or 5 times the animals that I've let the arrow fly on. Why is that? Something may have happened. The body language of the animal changed, another animal walked in the way, I've said this before, something got in the way, brush, stick, we all know that branch that can pop out of nowhere. Something got me, nope, not right yet, okay? You'll find the more you get into this, you'll develop what I call flight time. You'll be able to self-assess in a lot of cases where you're at. I find a lot of people that get into a process of overthinking, and a lot of that overthinking happens when they're holding, for instance, an anchor. So I'll look at that. I'll look at when they come up to their shot, and I'll look at when they go from a half draw to full draw. Are they hitting their anchor in the same place? Are they short drawing, right? Things like that. It happens. It really does, because they're trying to get to that spot of releasing the arrow, that stage of releasing the arrow. So what I do is with this letdown drill is delay that, right? So it does a few things. It looks at the shot structure, it looks at their consistency, the repeatability, and the third thing it looks at is it warms them up. It actually warms them up into that structure, okay? I'm not a believer in the cold shot. Do I participate in cold shots? Sure, they're fun to do. They're great. Are they realistic? Actually, I don't believe they are. You're not shooting cold. When an animal comes into you, if you've warmed up before you go out, and I warm up, I have not hunted a day in my life where I haven't warmed up before going hunting. Even if it's early in the morning, I'll turn the back light on, put something on, and I'll shoot 3, 6, 9 dozen arrows, right? So my eye and my brain are warmed up when I head into the woods, okay? You got to remember something. Even when I'm up in the stand, I'm constantly doing this letdown drill. I'd say about every 25 minutes or so, I'll get up, there's nothing moving, carefully and quietly, come to full draw a few times, let down, and center myself back in my seat, right? So I'm not a fan of that cold shot idea for that very reason, right? Because I don't think it's as realistic as, a lot of folks make it out to be. I just don't. Your adrenaline's gonna be going, your blood's pumping, the epinephrine's going. There's a lot of things not to get under control. I don't want to control those things. I want to get used to them, so I'm conditioned to them, right? And this is, what some people in some training circles call stress inoculation. And what I'm trying to do is, when I even do this drill, is I'm inducing a little bit of stress inoculation to that draw cycle by not allowing them to shoot every time they come up to full draw. All right, we're going to be doing some great stuff, folks. We've got some big announcements coming. We're really excited about. I hope this answers a few of your questions about my thoughts on target panic and where I go with it with folks. I take a little bit different approach to it. I like people shooting naturally and how it suits them. That's the most important part. And we're going to get into this. We're actually developing a series we're in the middle of right now on dealing with mitigating target panic. All right. Thanks for walking with us, folks. We'll see you again. Cheers.